Sean, you don't have a Lord of the Rings name.
I don't.
You should be
Do I
like
need one?
Sean the Great or something. I don't know. What
Sean the
would be
Great.
yeah, like what would be your Lord of the Rings name? Like what actually what species do you or what group I should say do you identify?
I quite like the dwarves, to be honest.
Ooh, yeah, they were good in this episode by the way. I like
And they're
the
really
dwarves.
good in this episode.
That was a
I
good
was
dwarf stuff.
telling wife while we were watching, I was like, we don't have enough like fantasy dwarf lore going on in in our TV shows and movies. And so like this is giving me that. Because like elves, come on, like we got the Vulcans, there's like similar things. So I'm like, I'm over it. I don't need it. But the
I name you
dwarves,
Sean Rapperstone. No?
I can't, I don't know if that's terrible or ingenious.
Rapperstone? No. Rappastone? Rap? Honestone? Rap? No, I don't know.
Lil pickaxe.
Ooh! Little Sean Pickaxe. Pick X with an X. Little Sean
Oh
Pickaxe.
yeah.
All right, so back to welcome back to second breakfast, where Sean and we're not having breakfast. We're not actually having a
I
second
might
breakfast.
have a croissant on the way.
That would be great, actually, because it
Yeah,
fits the show.
it
I
does
drank my
though.
coffee already. I couldn't help it. If we went on at 8 in the morning, I would have coffee with you on
Yeah, but
screen.
that would be
But
first breakfast, wouldn't it?
yeah, that would be first breakfast. So there's breakfast, there's second breakfast, there's elevensies, which
Yeah.
we had last time. We had elevensies. There's
Yeah, we went
lunch,
into 11 G's. Yeah.
There's brunch, there's lunch, there's luncheon, there's supper, and then there's dinner. I think there's a lot of meals in the world of Hobbit.
There's a lot going on.
So Sean, I don't have the same visual presentation that you were impressed at last time. You were like, "Ooh, there's a collage and everything," and I'm sorry, I don't have it.
Do you have at least a few images here?
Yeah,
A
yeah,
few
we'll be able to
screen
put
grab?
on
Okay.
images. Actually, it's bespoke, so you can say, "Find this part," and I can actually
The Lord of the Rings.
the rings of power. So, what'd you think of this episode, man?
I'm on the spot.
Hold on, I meant to do this.
My opening statement, the thing that I wanted
Yes.
to that I think is going to, I feel like Sahel watching Picard. Where every single week I'm like, this is the best episode that's ever been. I'm amazed. I love it. Why is every episode better than the last? I absolutely love this one. I think that it's the best so far. I I feel like disingenuous for saying this. I feel like I'm riding the hype train, but I
Live
actually
your
think
life, man. Live your best
I
life.
think this is the best of the four, and I think two was better
It was
than
really
one, three
good.
was better than two, and four was better than three. I loved it. So much dwarven things going on.
So much
Um,
elves, the
the
Numenor,
elven
like
thing, they're
the,
building the tower.
the whole thing with the
Mordor, the kid.
Mordor, yep. The kid, yep, yep, yep.
I
Oh,
mean, I'm loving it.
we do have another guest today, Sean. I thought it was just gonna be you and me, but it looks like the Meanderings is here, which means Ruben's taking a turn. It looks like from his. Wait, you don't sound. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
See,
Oh,
his opinion
there
doesn't count. We can't hear him.
I forgot
yeah.
to put the mic in my mouth, in front of my mouth.
You
It's
are
definitely not
having.
my favorite episode. I'm not like hating the show or anything,
Oh,
but
okay.
this was definitely by far my least favorite episode, and at
What?
the worst possible time.
It looks like you're having an actual second breakfast, Ruben.
I have a little turkey sandwich.
Turkey
Nothing.
and eggs. Turkey
No,
and
just
eggs?
turkey and bread.
A turkey sandwich sounds like something a hobbit would eat.
Where are my hobbits? Where are my Harfoots? No episode should have no Harfoots.
That's why you're upset.
No,
There's
the
no
star of the
heart.
show. Damn it!
He's pissed because we didn't have
Yeah.
the man from the sky with his half-foot
I want to
friends.
see my Nori.
Oh, that's so sweet.
My adorable Nori.
Next episode is just gonna be the half-foots.
Just the Harfoots.
Well, you just missed Sean's opening statement. He
Oh,
said
what was it?
Lord of the Rings is his Picard. He admitted to it. He's nuts for it. He's like,
I said I feel like Sahel watching Picard. I come out of this and like every episode is the best. I'm hype. I don't know. I don't know what to think of myself.
uh,
Well, I said
Well-
something similar last week. That the show has me. I'm a little biased with the show. because it's making me feel like I'm watching a D&D TV show. And so, but this episode was probably the least D&D episode of them all. Like I have so many like just nitpicks and like I don't know. We can get to it. So,
Yeah, well, let's save the nitpicks for the individual kind of breakdowns
trying not to talk
and
too much
stuff
while I
like
eat.
that. No, it's fun. But I'm curious, what do you guys think of the
Are you
I
doing
guess
an
we could just.
episode recap, or you're not doing an episode recap?
Oh
You've
yeah,
given
yeah.
up on
Sorry.
that. It's
No,
not that I care. It's not that I care about them, but I know it's your format. So like, you know,
It is my format, but sometimes we skip. It's like a natural. Yeah, it's casual and informal. Basically, where I understand where Ruben's saying about meandering. We don't really make. We make a lot of progress, but we don't go anywhere yet, right? Like so. At the beginning of the episode, we see a
Right. I
kind
just
of.
want to add the progress we do make. It just happens. Like Galadriel didn't do anything to earn these people's side. It was the tree happened to be falling apart. That they were like, okay, I guess
It's
we got
not.
to because
It's
now the tree.
it's
You
not
know?
happened to be. It's the
You know, like,
Valar. It's there's two.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry getting to the rant part. Go.
No,
Do
no,
your-
but
do
it's
your
true.
recap.
But we do start off with that pretty cool sequence, the where the queen is looking in the Palantir and she's like, it's like a naming day of babies, which is kind of horrifying that that's when it happens. But Galadriel Boy didn't have time to go and like do too much research, but I recall, and this is where the spoilers come in for those of you who don't know the source material, but Numenor does in fact get destroyed sometime in the second age. So
it's like Atlantis.
Exactly like Atlantis. It's 100,000% like Atlantis. Very good. Yes. So exactly, this was Tolkien,
What is
I
this man
believe.
doing with his camera? He's filming like it's an episode of Discovery.
It's true. What are you doing? But yes, very apt description there, Sean Littleaxe.
That was very clearly a vision. Can I say? I don't think anyone was fooled at all. Like, I don't think anyone thought, "Oh, it's happening."
Right, no, I didn't think it was happening either. I
Yeah.
knew it was a vision. But she has this vision that the Palantir is showing her, and we find out that there's like 7 Palantirs, and, you know, Galadriel...
it is you saw.
Don't do that. That ASMR voice, it gets me every... I know what it is you saw. For I have seen it too. Anyways, so you know, she gets this vision, and so we see why she's kind of freaked out. Like something's coming for Numenor, according to this Palantir. What I like is the whole time she's thinking like, you know, this is the right thing. We got to send this elf back and everything. And as soon as they put Galadriel on the vote, the freaking tree starts to shed, and that's because it's true. The Valar themselves disapproved of the decision that the regent had made. Anyways, the whole Numenor plot is a lot of intrigue and back and forth. There's especially a great scene with Galadriel and
The Valar are the gods.
yeah, they're like the
Is it a pantheon? Like, is it a pantheon?
Yeah,
Sorry,
exactly.
Do they have one god above all, or is it really just,
Correct. Iluvatar is the one god above all, and
Okay.
when Iluvatar birthed the universe, they birthed it with song, and so the
Okay.
song became the Valar. And then, you know, in the opening credits, how you see like these really beautiful kind of like harmonious geometric patterns that change, almost like, you know, have you ever seen like when they put a speaker underneath something and use sand with
Yeah, I saw that on
with
Twitter recently. I saw like
yeah,
a
like
reference to that.
so yeah, it'll create like different shapes even with the sound. So that's totally what that is, which I love because it's a reference to how the fictitious pantheon work. You know, like it's Iluvatar's
Okay.
voice and everything, and then the dark kind of sand grains that you see coming in, that's Melkor or Morgoth's music that came in and corrupted, kind of like
Rap.
yeah, that's rap basically. No, I'm just kidding. That is not rap.
It's heavy,
Rap
heavy
it-
metal.
He
Rap
agreed to
it-
it once you said
it's
it.
more-
You got him, bro.
it's
You
death
got
metal.
him.
It's
Death
actually
metal.
more heavy metal. I actually agree with that.
You got
a
him
little
on
bit
record
more.
saying it's rap.
No, I like rap. I like
Good
some
job,
rap.
Sean.
Whatever.
It's because I'm. It's
Finally,
because
take
I'm.
down the Starfleet boy empire.
It's because I'm.
Whatever.
It's because I'm Little Pick X. That's why.
Start
sorry.
Little Pickaxe is his
I want to see
dwarf
some
name.
Rings of Power rap. Some like
Yeah,
Middle
Sean
Earth
could
rap.
do it. He's done Star Trek rap. Why not?
There's Flight of the Conchords. They did the
Yeah,
whole
that's true.
Lord of the Rings rap.
Well, there was the. You guys ever see the wizards? Oh my god, what were they called? Motherfucking wizards never die. You never heard that song?
No,
It's a rap group that dressed as wizards and they would sing about wizard things.
I
So
see.
I'll try to find it and you see that to the show.
Okay, anyways,
I'm
so
terrified and intrigued.
we get a lot of like stirrings in Numenor. We get that cool scene where the guy who got beat up last episode is trying to be all like, the robots are gonna take, I mean, the elves are gonna take over our jobs, and like, like, or the immigrants, I guess, is a more apt thing. Like, it was kind of it was an interesting like reflection on things that still happen,
yeah,
but like, it's just one elf at this point. And I like that Farazan comes in and he's like, yo, are we this kingdom that was founded based on blah 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 blah? Are we really gonna be like so fragile that one elf is gonna change the way that we think of ourselves, and then we're gonna freak out and stuff like that?
To be fair, in this dude's defense, when we talk about like an immigrant taking our job, like an immigrant is the same as, like, everyone's the same on this planet. Whereas over there, he does have a point when he says like an elf doesn't sleep, doesn't rest, doesn't die.
Right.
You know what I mean? There is like a kind of
Total different perspective on the world.
yeah. There's
That's why I said robots in the beginning.
Inevitability to like the elves. I don't know how to say it, but there's a difference.
But the elves aren't interested. I mean,
But they
Farazan
don't
brings
give a
up a
shit.
good.
They don't want to
Well,
take their
that's
job.
one of the things
Yeah.
that annoys me about Galadriel in this episode. She seems like she's 12 years old rather than like 1,000. She has no skill at diplomacy whatsoever. Like, what have you been doing all this time, girl?
She's not a diplomat.
She's
Though.
over 1,000 years old. You have plenty of time to learn shit.
She spent her time killing trolls.
She's actually a good diplomat, but she just doesn't have time to suffer fools.
Yeah, she ain't got no time for that bullshit.
Yeah,
She's
she's
just
all like,
yo,
I
got a
love that
troll to
scene.
kill.
Yeah, I love that scene where she's like, well, you leave me with no choice. I asked for an audience with the king, regent. she's like,
Right,
you
she's
have
a
no-
child.
Wow, damn.
I want to talk to your dad. Ooh, like, oh my god.
That
Jesus.
is exactly what she said.
And then she
It's not
takes
like-
out four
Okay,
guards in
okay,
like 2
but-
seconds.
No,
Like,
but
the most useless guards ever.
I think it's fine because I think she's reacting the same way as like the regent did. Like the regent is
Yeah.
she's being unreasonable, she's being childish. Fine, you want to be that way? I'll be that way. I want to talk to your dad.
I like that
exactly,
Sean's-
but that's what a child does. Oh, you're gonna be like that? I'm gonna be like that too. No, a parent, a person who's been
But then
around for over
she-
1,000
she-
years would have
she's
more.
I think she's being in her condescending elf way that like she's like this human is just pathetic.
Also, over an elf's lifespan, Galadriel is actually quite young and probably inexperienced when you consider how much older she is. Like, I think Lord
how
of the
old
Rings
is
is like
Elrond? Is Elrond like, are they the
Elrond's
same
pretty young.
age?
They're like, no, because Elrond was
They're young
born.
technically for elves.
Elrond was born after the initial elves woke up. I think Galadriel was also born after. I don't think she's part of the original elves.
But
that woke
Elrond's
up.
father, the one we learn about,
Erendil, right?
he was born with the initial like
Yeah, he's an
elf
old
wave, I guess.
elf way. He's part of the first elf way. Yeah. So like, there is I mean, you could actually say that, yeah, Galadriel is in fact inexperienced and a little too rash. So that's not an unfair critique about her, even though Ruben's all like, she's a child, whatever. She is a child.
Well,
She's
I
a
just think
elf
the
child.
writers are very the writers are taking very easy paths to get to places, because the hard path would be to have Galadriel actually be a leader and convince this woman to do things, but that takes a
Well,
lot more work than just leaves falling. Okay, she's gonna agree.
well, we
you know.
see that, again, I think that, like, I understand what you're saying,
She
but
spins 4 guards into her cell like they're doing some weird hokey pokey dance, like no effort into like. I mean, that scene was just ridiculous to me. That was pretty much the like episode breaker for me.
which one? What scene?
when she spins the 4 guards into her cell like in 3 seconds.
See, I loved it because I don't.
Like-
You know what I loved about it is because like there's a.
Can she
well,
break the cell? Like I was looking at it, I was like, why?
She
is
could
even
probably-
here? I was like, this is like a Superman in prison kind of thing. Like she could just be like, nah, fuck you.
Okay, they're not that strong, and like the Numenorians.
She be running on swords and shit. Come on.
Numenorians would have like done something about it. What I liked about that scene is that like to me it's like when I read Tolkien, none of the action is described in a modern way, right? Like it's described in a very like kind of almost the same like language that he uses for all his other prose. It's like and the host came down the mountain and
Right,
was,
right.
succumbed
not like
to
an
the
action book,
like.
basically.
Yeah, it's not like an action book, and I kind of like that. Like some of the. That's one of the things I liked about that scene is like I was in my mind was like, and Galadriel, subdued the, like it just didn't seem like it felt good. I don't know, it felt like right the way that it was done in that scene. But anyways, going back to Numenor, Isildur gets him and his boys kicked out of the navy because he thought he
What
was
a
just going to
dick.
get him. I know, what a total dick. I was really upset at Isildur too.
What a
Back
stupid
in
decision too. Couldn't he do something like on his own? Did he have to do it when it was like specifically a teamwork
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Back in
operation
the
here?
Can't he just run away?
I'll be back in a minute.
oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, he
can't
could have just run away too.
instead of screwing over his friends. Tom,
Yeah, that was really a bad move. He thought he was like, I get it, like I like, although also by the way, those Numenorian ships are very strict with their whole like you mess up once you're out. Like
I
what
mean,
the hell?
that's not
Like,
very. That's not very. It's not very productive. You're gonna end up kicking out a lot of people.
yeah, it's crazy. Although I mean, like the shipmaster actually did call out Isildur correctly. Isildur did purposely mess that up.
Right.
So I thought
I
that
just
was
don't get why
interesting.
he blamed. The other guy.
Oh, look at that.
Who got me this?
Me,
There you
Daddy.
Look,
Well, I'll leave you two alone. Was that
What is
bacon?
that? Oh, that's his croissant.
bacon.
That's-
Sorry,
That's
that's on
his
my
seg-
mind. I wish I had bacon. That's what I'm thinking about.
So we go back to the Southlands and we find out that the people are in a crisis because there's no food, because the butcher is an evil bastard and probably ate it all or did something to it.
What a dick.
Whatever. Yeah, what a total dick. We find out that guy is. But anyways, kid Sauron, I'm gonna call him because I don't remember his name, and he's messing with some dark magic.
Young Sal.
Young Sal. Young Sal. Suspect Kid
My name is
Sauron.
Young Sal. Ow! I
Super
bet on my
sus.
sword.
Wow. So, so Kid Sauron says to his pal, like, we got to go into the town during the day, grab some food, and come back. So that's happening. Meanwhile,
And his pal was like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
Meanwhile, we meet Adar, and I still don't know what he is. Like, I'm still a little
He's a dark elf.
confused. Yeah, I guess he's a dark elf, but no,
He's a
because
bit-
dark
he's a
elves
bit-
are.
he's a bit
Dumbass dark elf too. By
He's
the
a bit
way.
emo.
He's super emo.
Let me let go one of the most dangerous elves that I have prisoned with his bow, with his sword. Let me just go send a message, dude.
And the message he sends is, your people have to give up these lands and swear fealty to Adar, and that's where we end on that.
Yeah,
which is
the
crazy.
that message was kind of obvious at this point.
Now, yeah,
Or
it
you
is
have
going to be
orcs
interesting.
digging under your town. I'm pretty sure they
Yeah.
want your land.
What will
So-
these
so why did-
people
so why did he do that? Explain to me, why did he do that?
Why did he send the Arondir after these people?
Why does he need these people to like pledge fealty? He doesn't need him.
Right.
He doesn't
There
need-
is-
It's writer's
is it-
convenience.
Well,
No, but
aside
maybe,
from
but-
that, there is a there
Is
is
he like
kind
a
of like
terrorist?
a
Is he trying to spread terror, basically? Spread
Even-
fear?
even Sauron has a little bit of like respect. You know what I mean? Like, and also these people
Right,
served
right,
Morgoth.
gotcha.
These people like
Ah.
served Morgoth. They like served the
So
previous.
he's giving them a second chance, basically.
He's giving
like,
another chance to like join,
Okay.
and he needs the
Right.
people, and he
Well,
needs
yeah, I
the
mean,
laborers.
the more followers, the better. The more people you have
Yeah,
subservient
Oh, I
to you, the
see.
better in
I
these
see.
people's cases.
I don't
Plus
have a
he-
cult, so I wouldn't know.
yeah.
I mean, when I was a tyrant for a few years,
But
No,
it was-
okay. So you know how it goes.
yeah.
But,
I
like,
ruled
also-
over just a corner of the south of the Southland, just south of the Southland.
Oh,
they
Yeah.
they also need the workers, so like that could be like one aspect of it. By the way, we have Sarah here who says "ton petit déj." Oh, have a good petit déjeuner, right?
no, she was saying. No, she was saying, "I have your breakfast." Basically,
Oh,
come and get it.
that's
Come and get
hilarious. That's hilarious. Now we know who the other watcher is. There's only two people watching right now. We know
I think
that
she's
one
probably
of them.
gone. No,
One of
she's
them is
gone.
wife on the team. I hope she enjoys this. By the way, I saw your message and I will reply to you, wife.
She's enjoying the show, by the way.
You know,
Not
wife
this
and I
one.
have a friend. Oh, the
I-
Lord.
Yeah, no, this one. Dude, enjoy this shit.
You know,
She
wife and I
enjoys
have
Lord of the
a.
Rings.
You know, wife and I have a friendship independent from your friendship and mine, right?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Anyways, so that's happening. And then back to the dwarves, Sean's favorite part. We finally find out what the dwarves are up to, and it is confirmed that it is in fact Mithril. We were all wondering it's going to be the Arkenstone or what kind of stuff. I knew it wasn't going to be the Arkenstone. I knew
So
it was
this
going to
is
be Mithril.
this is the
What the
ore from
shirt-
the
Yeah,
Bilbo shirt and the Frodo shirt, like the yeah. Okay.
that's correct. Exactly. Yeah,
Good.
and I
So
think
I wasn't mistaken when I was laying out the facts while we were watching the episode.
Sting might be made from Mithril too, if I'm not
No.
mistaken. No,
Sting
it's a
glows
different
blue, right?
Yeah, but it's a different technology, I guess, or whatever. But yeah, anyways, Mithril is
Different dark magic.
Well, I think Mithril is better for. Oh no, he does say it's good for weapons too, right?
Yeah, he said you can make
Armor
any.
and weapons, yeah.
It's light as F and hard as F. So
So
Yeah.
Elrond is sworn to secrecy. You can't talk about it.
yeah,
That's fine. I trust Elrond. He won't say anything.
yeah.
But then you give him the physical object.
Right.
Like you're like, here, take it. I was like,
Oh,
but
I
now
did
he
keep
has
the
proof.
secret, but I left the
Now-
rock
yeah,
sitting
it's like
out.
I'm keeping the secret. But now he has the proof on him at all times. Like someone could rob him.
You guys don't
Someone
think
could
he's gonna
take it.
show it to Celebrimbor? I think he is gonna show it to Celebrimbor.
No, well
Is
that's
he, that,
yeah.
is he that much of a pussy? No, he's not gonna say no.
He'll
Is he?
show it to yes,
No.
yes, or Celebrimbor will
That's
find
not
it.
kind.
I
That's
mean,
not
it'll
kind.
come up
He
again
gave him
for
his
sure.
word.
Yeah, but maybe Celebrimbor will find it.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
That's
Right,
what's gonna
something
happen.
like that, right?
Dude's gonna
'Cause
be
it
like,
has to be-
frisking him, and then he's gonna find the stone. He's going, "What's this?"
He's gonna be
give him a
like,
reach
"Oh, we got-
around.
He's gonna be
Handshake
like,
on his pocket.
we gotta
and be
make-
like, oh, what's this?
Oh,
We gotta make-
That's hard.
Wait,
Oh,
second breakfast, second second breakfast. Just it's the morning people. It's the morning people.
it's late o'clock somewhere.
Later, it is true.
It is often hot in the
In
morning,
Australia and
right?
New Zealand, it's nighttime, I believe. If I'm not mistaken.
In
You
Middle
know,
Earth.
friend
It's
Greg in
always ni-
Japan. Shout out to Greg. He's going to sleep soon, probably.
Hey, look, it's
Well,
always
yeah,
nighttime.
he's
It's always nighttime in Mordor.
It's true. That's true. That's a good point. Anyways, we get this awesome kind of scene between Elrond and Durin's wife, and we get another scene in the dwarf thing where basically after the mine collapses and Elrond happens to be there to save Durin. Durin's wife is like all like, I'm sorry I lied to you, but he's my husband. He's like, oh, I totally understand, I don't mess with husbands and wives. And then Durin's like super pissed because his dad shut down the mine, and he's like, that old goat, I'll never talk to him again. But then Elrond, like, in his like little speech about like, I wish I could talk to my dad one more time, like gets Durin to soften up, and he goes and he talks to his dad. And it was actually a good scene. I really liked the scene between Durin and his father. I thought it was pretty good. It made
agree.
sense that Durin's father would be like, oh yeah, go forth and go to Lindon and find out what these elves are up to.
I do want to shout out, and I appreciate the fact that there was the drama of like the I don't want to talk to my dad, no, but they like it's not like a thing that they dragged out for like the whole season. You know what I mean? They didn't make it like such a big deal about it. They used it effectively. Like they had the little Elrond like kind of like speech. It was nice, and then he goes back and talks to his father immediately. It gets wrapped up, and they come to the conclusion that they need to go and check out what these elves are up to. And I like that. I just like the way that they wrap it up. They don't drag it out for too much.
Yeah, totally. Anyways, we already talked about the Southlands and that part, but then finally it ends with them sending off Galadriel and the White Tree falling and the Numenor changing its mind, and the Queen herself, the Regent, saying, I will go and escort this menacing elf back to Middle Earth, and we will both together figure out what the heck's going on in the Southlands. But they need like an exploratory force, I guess is what they're calling it. And our homeboy Isildur volunteers to go along with his boys, so there's a chance they'll all become friends again. But it's a little bit of a shock because you just gave up on this. Why are you going again? So Isildur's an interesting guy. I guess he's normal for like a a early 20s person trying to figure out what they want to do in life, but they have no
I
idea.
was hearing voices from
Oh yeah, he hears
far
voices
off
from the
lands.
island. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. Anyways, that's the summary. So yeah, was it a good summary? It seemed like you guys were talking a lot during the summary. You guys had a lot to say, so I feel like I did a good job.
I think you nailed it. Oh, did we talk about what's her face? The random sister character who's gonna be important.
Oh yeah,
I guess
there's like
somewhere down the line.
yeah, she's gonna be important now.
Who?
The
I guess she's gonna be
sister
important.
of the guy who got kicked out of the Navy.
Oh yeah.
She and
That one.
Farazan's son seem to be hitting it. What did you guys think of Farazan in this episode, and what did you think of Farazan and his son, like, and who I think is also, by the way, a made-up character. I don't remember there being a son for Farazan.
Right, I think the sister's made up. I know the sister's made up,
I think
Correct.
Farazan's son might be made up too. Let me see if they
but I don't know.
show.
Yeah, Farazan's
It's-
son's the one. Yeah,
So Farazan is not made up. I love how like everyone is made up. It's just like they're not made up by the same people.
So there is a character named Al Farazan in the books who
he sells
teams
used
up.
cars.
Yeah, Al Farazan.
Come down to Al Farazan's. I'll give you the best deals.
Who teams up with Sauron? Let me just confirm that. Hold on, Al Farazan.
I got 4-wheel wagons. I got 2-wheel wagons. I got the 1-wheel old school.
One wheel.
We finance everyone.
There's a
Our-
wheelbarrow.
I had it wrong. It's R Farazan.
Uni-wheel wagon. You mean a
So-
wheelbarrow?
So R Farazan, so R Farazan, also known as R Farazan the Golden, was the 25th and last king of Numenor. All of the kings of Numenor, he wielded the most power, but used it most unwisely. His desire for eternal life caused the destruction of Numenor and the change of the world. So that's interesting because you remember when he and
So he's the
Halbrand.
guy that brings on the third age.
Yeah.
What a dude.
Well, he doesn't bring the third age, but he brings on Numenor's destruction for sure. So this guy, it looks like, will be the successor to the current king and queen. Is Ar-Pharazôn, but they're kind of setting it up for that, which makes sense. But also the reason.
He's a racist. No.
No, he was the one who was saying like we don't have to give in to these. I feel like the other guy was the racist, and this guy was like.
Wait, so he's not the guy that doesn't like the elves?
No, that was the guy who was beat
Okay.
up last episode. I mean, he doesn't like the elves. He's all for the no elf thing, but I don't know if he's like as
Like
concerned.
we stick to ourselves policy kind of. Like,
Yeah, he's more like Numenorians don't need to be like so fragile as to
Okay.
to be effective. But here, let me put him back on screen for a second here. Yeah, there he is. So there's Ar-Pharazôn. I called him Al. That's funny. So Ar-Pharazôn, if I'm not mistaken, teams up with Sauron, and there was an interesting scene with him in this episode when Galadriel gets free from the thing. In that scene, Halbrand actually advises him, and he takes Halbrand's advice. He like says something, and he resheathes his sword. He says, "Oh yeah, isn't it better to follow her and see where she's going, like or whatever, like that kind of thing." That little scene actually was very interesting because you know how some of us suspect that Halbrand is Sauron.
Everyone is fucking Sauron in this
Yeah,
show.
it's true.
Yeah, I don't
Hey,
like
nice
Halbrand.
to see you, Quarkspar.
Hey, it's Quark. Quark is Sauron.
Quark is Sauron. It's true. Well, anyways,
Do
what's
that
interesting
Oprah
is.
meme. Everybody gets a song.
If I'm remembering correctly,
You get a
Farazon is
ring,
definitely
and you get a ring.
Farazon's definitely corrupted by Sauron. And so if Halbrand is Sauron, he wants to start using he wants to start forging stuff and all this stuff. Then maybe that was like a little hint of what's to come. Like maybe Halbrand's gonna have a much more prominent position, or if he's not Sauron, maybe like the butcher guy, he is actually a like a lieutenant of Sauron, like an agent of Sauron's that's out here trying to do his mischief. You know what I mean? And so yeah, it's very interesting.
So I have a theory that's different.
Okay,
Little Sal, then the kid.
the kid, little Sal.
I was like, what if he's not Sauron? What if he's like the Witch King
Oh yeah, a lot of people are talking about that.
or the mouth of Sauron?
I would love
Would
that if he's
would
like
that
the
be
mouth of...
interesting? But then I don't
Yeah, I
know
would
enough
love
about
it.
the lore to be able to advance that. Because I
There
don't know,
is
like,
lore. I can't
does
remember
the Witch
it.
King appear one day? Is the Witch King born? Like these characters, I don't know where they come from. Were they created from the fiery pits from whence they came? Like I don't know. Like, but like
Remember, they're not bound by the lore on this show. They can kind of like do what they want because there's a lot of interpretation. But there is lore about the mouth of Sauron. Sauron. I just called him Sauron. That's
the only thing I know about the mouth of Sauron is that he's been the mouth for so long that he's forgotten his own name.
Yeah, the Mouth of Sauron was one of Sauron's most devoted servants, serving as his herald and messenger, and as the lieutenant of the Tower of Barad-dûr at the
Could it
time
be
of the
Adar?
War of the Rings. Maybe it could be Adar too. His true name was forgotten even by himself. I don't think it's Adar because Adar remembers it. Like I think the Mouth of Sauron might be. Oh, it could be
Right,
Adar.
Quark.
Actually.
Yeah, Quark says what the Witch King is.
Oh, who is the? Yeah, let's see.
9
here.
human kings.
Witch
Oh,
King was
okay.
one of the 9 human kings who were given the rings
Okay.
of power.
Okay.
Yeah, so the kid won't be the Witch King unless
The
he
kid
becomes
can't-
king. But Haldir could be the Witch King, or Halbrand. I keep calling him Haldir.
But they, like, could the kid? Well, actually, Adar could become the mouth of Sauron. That I mean, no,
yeah,
that doesn't.
Adar could. Yeah, it's true. I love the Mouth of Sauron design in the Peter Jackson films. By the way, he's so gross.
The scene is so cringe and so long. I don't know. I understand why they took it out. I was like, why the hell? The thing that they shouldn't have taken out is the Saruman.
What? Saruman doing
Uh,
what? What did they take out?
His whole death scene with like is it Grima? With Grima on the top of the tower,
yeah,
all of
yeah,
that
yeah.
thing. I was like, why did they take all this out?
But yeah, anyways, good call out. Thanks, Quarkspar. I forget who Quarkspar is. It's a friend of ours. I forget your actual name. Is that you? Who is that? Someone I know Quarkspar. It's a I can't
Sauron.
see your no. It is Sauron. Quarkspar. Anyway.
Your friend was Sauron. I mean-
He's the Lizard King. No way. That's,
So we have some so Farazan and that guy, by the way, the guy who was talking smack about Els taking over jobs, his name is Tamar.
Okay.
Yeah,
How do you spell that?
Tamar, but he's also probably not like a major character as far as I know.
He doesn't exist as well. He's made up as well.
Do you guys like Isildur?
Like I know what he. I
Which one's that
know
one again?
he's the kid. He's the rebel kid that gets his friends discharged.
Oh, the Navy kid. The Navy kid. Yeah, okay. No, I mean, I don't know. He's kind of personality less right now for me.
Yeah, like the biggest thing I know about him is what happens in Lord of the Rings. Like the biggest thing I know about Isildur is that he doesn't destroy the ring.
We're
And so
seeing that.
I
We're seeing
kind
that
of-
kind of personality here. Like
I
the
guess
kind of
you can. I
personality
guess you
that's
can
like, yeah.
see that he's indecisive. Like he's always changing his mind and doing ridiculous things. But I don't know. I don't.
Right, he's very rash and impulsive. Like he doesn't really
Yeah.
know what to do with
I
himself.
just think
So,
of him as
but-
a
but-
brat. I don't like him at all, actually.
But
Oh,
like
he keeps
seeing so
sing the voice.
I
and then
kind of
him.
like, yeah.
so at this point, having experienced like I guess 3 episodes of him, I would have never trusted him with destroying the ring. I would be like, why did you choose this guy? Like, you know what I mean? This is ridiculous.
Why does he get it? It's because he's the one who cuts the freaking fingers. He gets lucky.
Yeah,
like,
but
it's
that's just like
interesting.
happenstance, right? Like it just so happened that the dude was in front of him, so he cut it. Right?
Yeah, I guess that's what
he's
it
not,
is.
He's not worthy of the destruction of the One Ring. Proof.
Well, I guess he
the
does.
proof is in the pudding.
I guess
He
at least
doesn't
he
do it.
does eventually grow up to become disciplined enough to become a fighter, right?
That's good.
Right.
that
So
his
he
arc?
does have some sort
Is
of
that his arc?
redemption. Yeah, I guess he becomes he stops
He
being
becomes
an
an
dumbass.
adult.
Yeah. Basically, he
What
stops
an
being an
arc.
impulsive asshole who gets his friend screwed over for no reason when he could just walk away. Just leave. Just leave.
What did you guys think
On
of
foot,
this?
on land, buddy. Happy feet.
What did you guys think of this? What did you guys think of this? Finally meeting Adar and like how he like kills that one
Yeah, like that
so
mercy
orc,
sad.
killing.
the
I'm
mercy
so
killing
sad
and
for
all
my
that
orc
stuff.
friend. Oh no!
Was
Can they
I a
bring him
good
back?
orc? You were
Can
the
they-
best, buddy.
Can they forge him back in mud like the Urukai or no? He's gone. I'm so sad.
Well, I guess
The-
he becomes dinner, right? And so he
Looks
does
like
come.
meat's back on the menu,
He
boys.
does come back into it.
Wow, that was a really good impression of that. Meat's back on the menu, boys. But what about so one thing I was reminded of, which is pretty cool, is that there's actually orcs there's orcs of Morgoth, there's newer orcs, there's goblin men, and then later the Uruk-hai. So there's goblins in there too. There's got to be like some of these orcs are not just orcs, they're goblins. Could this guy?
Yeah, but they don't like each other too much, right? Like they work together for like a common cause, I guess, but they're not
Right.
necessarily like the greatest of friends. Look
Right.
at this dude.
Yeah, look at him.
He's so angry, dude.
Yeah, bro.
But he does describe to Arondir that he was
Chill
around.
out, yo.
He was around for. He's old because he was around.
Have a Snickers.
Arondir is from Beleriand, which, by the way, remember, have a Snickers.
Snickers. And he
Remember-
eats it and he becomes like a Harfoot.
Remember
You're
in the first episode, we see Galadriel talking about that long ass war with to defeat Morgoth, and that like you see like a whole civilization underwater, like sunk basically, right? That's Beleriand, where Arondir was born. That got sunk, and now you have like this huge. It's basically this a chunk of land, probably the size of, like, let's just say for fun, like Greenland, sunk underwater, and so this is interesting because this guy describes being there. So was he? But he doesn't say what he was or who he was affiliated when he was there. So
Well, he didn't. He's not sunk himself, so clearly he was with the people that were doing the sinking.
yeah, it's possible, but Arondir survived that too. So a lot of people survived.
So this guy is an elf, or we don't know.
Everything about him seems like he's an elf or an elf type
So historically, there have been men that allied themselves with Morgoth. There have been elves. Like it's
Orcs?
not just
Remember-
it's not just orcs and goblins.
Yeah, and remember
and
orcs.
Balrogs.
I think orcs are corrupted elves. I'm pretty sure, actually. Rather, I should
That's
say.
what that's what I thought that like Sauron had like created the orcs.
Morgoth.
Had created the orcs from elves, right? Is that it?
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So he gave them like the virus.
He gave them like they're zombies. Yeah,
The T virus.
yeah, exactly. So I'm intrigued by
Multiverse
this.
Rings of Power.
I'm really intrigued by this character. I'm wondering how they're going to play with it. I think Ruben or someone touched on last week that
Yeah, he's like
yeah,
he's a half elf.
they're like, yeah, well, there's just like bosses, like little bosses, and we're starting to meet
right.
all the little bosses. Like we haven't met Sauron. I was reminded also.
Will Sauron do this?
Yeah, like that's my opinion. is I don't think we've actually
Yeah.
met Sauron yet.
When he puts his glove on with the ring, does he
Dang.
say I am? Does he say I am inevitable?
I really hope not. I would actually turn off the television. I would actually legit turn off the TV. I thought they did a good job in that
Sauron
scene
man.
of showing what's his name, Arondir, like really desperate, and so Arondir was like getting ready to like take a move, like do his last move there, like he knew he was gonna die, so he was like, oh, maybe I could cut this guy's neck or whatever in here. But
His
like
name, I'm not good with the names so far.
yeah, this guy's name is Arondir.
Arondir. Can't they have normal names?
No, that's the whole point. The whole
Like,
point.
can't he have like a normal name like Legolas?
That's
Like that's a memorable.
that's a normal name to you, Legolas.
Legolas.
My
Aragorn,
name is
and
Jack.
Gimli. Those are normal.
I think I would name my daughter Arwen. I really like the name Arwen, and I think I've seen it out in like life. I also would name my daughter Dior, or a son actually, a boy named
Well,
Dior.
I mean,
is a cool
those are
name.
better than
This guy
like,
should be
naming-
called Frank.
Frank the Wise.
Well, Frank
Um,
over here.
Yeah.
Frank's a badass later on when he's fighting the like trying to like that was like I felt like that scene was like a direct callback to the actual Peter Jackson films, like especially I guess what scene would that be like most like the bridge crossing? Remember, like they're all like
Oh, when they're running through the forest scene, you mean?
yeah, because like
Well, it reminded me of that scene in the
Are we
first.
gonna get a
Peter Jackson.
a mini battle at the tower there where all of the men are hiding out?
I
And is
think
that
we
gonna be like
are.
that's a mini Helm's Deep coming, right?
I think it is.
I'm loving
like,
it. I'm loving it.
It
And
feels
like
like that's what's
Galadriel,
coming, right?
I was talking about how Galadriel, like this new actor, she's kind of channeling like the Lord of the Rings kind of Galadriel that they gave us. I feel like they're really doing that, like even with the camera work. Because sometimes she's looking like pretty much directly at camera, and she's being all like, no, 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 no," you know what I mean? Like how she does those displays of power. I feel like they're really, I don't know, it connects in my mind. Even if
Yeah, I
they're not,
agree.
even if they're not so directly related, and I guess that kind of helps with like the casting choices and how some of the actors don't exactly look like the counterparts. But I think everything connects quite well. And if you were to like headcanon them together, I think it works. You can do that.
This scene here gave me like absolute chills in this episode. I love stuff in like the hold on. Let
Well,
me
that
put
one
the scene
scene
up.
was definitely like nod to the when the orcs are chasing Frank through the forest.
This one, right?
And they're all the different orcs are running through the trees
Yeah.
and stuff. That was like from the first Peter Jackson movie.
That's what I was trying to
Yeah.
But also this scene is really cool because like the music in this part and this it's just a very simple thing, like clouds are clearing away from the sun. It's like so simple, but knowing what it means, like, and the way it's framed here and like the music, like to me, like whenever the music hits this like ethereal kind of like angelic tone, to me it's like the Valar are interfering, and they do it all the time, and it could be something as simple as like moving a cloud out of the way so the sun can shine so that like the orcs can't chase
I don't
them,
think
or
I don't think this was interference. I think this was just, you know.
no, this is
I know, I
about
get-
like this is 1,000% interference by the Valar. They're like they
No,
do
I
stuff,
think
they
so.
do shit like this,
Do
and
you think so?
the show backs it up with the freaking crazy soundtrack, like and then later on you see another like subtle thing of the Valar, which is all the petals falling at the right moment and falling in the right place too.
Yeah, but that's not so. That's not subtle.
That's like less subtle, but this is yes, it's true.
Yeah, this one I like to believe. I mean, obviously the tree one was exactly the Valinor, but
Yeah, the Valar.
this
yeah.
one I like to believe it too because this is how kind of like most gods
Why
are
don't they
described,
throw-
where they don't really interfere directly, but they'll
They'll do something like make
they'll
it
do
a clear
something
day.
like that. Yeah, like
Yeah,
these
like-
people need sun right now. You know,
So
Right.
they'd rather do this than like throw a tree on the orc.
or just snap their fingers and make the orcs disappear altogether because they're probably like omnipotent
They'd
creatures.
rather do this than throw a tree on an orc.
Yeah, because then you kill a tree.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
that's very
it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Can't be killing,
Here you provide the sun for all the renewable energy, and
Plus, you can tell
dude.
Ruben's a dungeon.
That's why I'm not a god.
You can tell Ruben's a Dungeons and Dragons person because that's the kind of thing the game master would do. It's like
Well, the
little.
game master-
well,
it's
in
a-
Dungeons and
it's
Dragons,
Valar.
It's a-
yeah, the gods
yeah.
don't interfere directly with.
Well, you're the god. You're the Valar. For,
Yeah, but, like,
for
they
your dungeons game.
Q is a Valar.
A Q is a Valar.
Not only Q,
is
but
a-
Quark too. I think.
But yeah, to me that scene
Wife-
was just
wife was,
chills.
Yeah,
Wife
she
was
was good.
mentioning that they could carry on shooting their arrows.
Oh, yeah,
Oh
I've
man,
been
when
around.
he catches the arrow, that was like.
That was such
That
a good
was
so cool.
scene. That was so
Oh
good.
my
And it was-
yeah,
God.
the way it was shot, the way
It
it
was
was like,
done, it was
oh,
so
man,
good.
It was just
Yeah.
like, whoa,
I forgot about that. That was
give me
really
more,
rad.
give me more.
That was
So yeah,
really
that
cool.
was like. So you're right. There's like probably a mini Helm's Deep coming up. Like it's gonna be nuts.
That's what I feel like. If they don't do it now, I'm gonna be disappointed because I've already hyped it. See,
You've
I'm
hyped it to
imagining
yourself.
Yeah, I'm like, this is happening, and if they don't do it, I'm gonna be like, oh. By the way, I shout out to the kid, Theo is his name. He's got
Yeah,
a real
Theo.
name. Because
By the way,
he's-
played
he's-
by Tyro Muhafidin.
This is the kid with the sword, broken
This
sword.
is the kid
Yeah.
with the sword. Yeah,
Okay,
the
yeah,
kid
yeah.
that
The next,
injects
the other
sword.
half elf.
I'm calling him Kid Sauron, but yeah, he is a half elf, right? Is that what they say?
I don't
No,
think it's confirmed, but they haven't shown his ears yet, and he's clearly the son of Frank. So,
you think so? I thought he was the son. I think he might
I,
be the son of the runaway king.
oh, how
Or
Because
do we think he's important like that?
yeah, maybe because Frank hasn't like done anything with
easier names. It just
with
catches on better.
Frankie hasn't done anything with June.
Frankie hasn't
His
yet
name-
gotten freaky.
I don't know, man. I think they got busy one night, and we got Adar Part 2 down there.
I don't think that's what's
Or
happening.
Adar, right?
I don't think that's what's. I don't think that's what's happening with Theo, but I do think Theo might be the kid of the king guy. The why do I keep calling him that? Halbrand, our boy in Numenor. By the way, he's staying there. It looks like he's just chilling. I don't know if he's gonna go with Galadriel. I wonder if he's gonna stay in Numenor. That'll lend credence to some of my ideas about him being a bad guy. I think he might not be a good guy at all.
I'm a bad guy.
He's totally a bad guy. Sean, before we
He's a badass.
wrap up, what else about the dwarves did you want to get in? Because you said that was your favorite part of the episode, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I just really like the vibe and the aesthetic of it all. I found that we touched on it earlier. Durin,
Did Sean freeze?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I'm
It's like
lagging,
his.
I'm lagging in and out.
Oh,
go.
there you are.
You're back.
Okay, we touched on it earlier, Durin, and then you said Durin really beautifully, and then we cut out. Durin.
Durin.
Durin. Oh, he's frozen again.
I think he's faking it.
He is faking. I think he's faking it too.
Oh, no
Ruben, why don't
way.
you talk about what you think of the dwarf scenes then?
Those were some of my favorite scenes in this episode. Again, the D&D connection. D&D also still mithril. That's some of the best armor in D&D is made of mithril.
Oh, they actually call it mithril in D&D in
Yeah,
the source book.
yeah,
That's
I
cool.
mean,
I didn't
we've all-
realize
yeah.
how much D&D took from
Oh yeah,
Lord
yeah,
of the
a
Rings,
lot,
that's
a
cool.
lot. I mean,
Very
there's
cool.
basically, you know how the Lord of the Rings has Ents, are those big tree people.
yeah.
In D&D, they're treants. So they added, halflings are hobbits basically, but they couldn't use the term hobbit. So.
halflings, but they use halfling in Lord of the Rings too as a general descriptor. So I
Right,
like that.
right. So I guess they borrowed that from.
From
But no, yeah, the dwarf stuff was some of my favorite stuff. The mithril is really cool. See, in D&D, mithril I don't think is used for weapons. That's why I was confused. That's why I get confused sometimes with my D&D knowledge versus actual Lord of the Rings information. But no, dwarf scenes was
you
some of my
probably
favorite.
have an inherent understanding of a lot of the lore, but without even knowing it because
Right.
of
Well, I've been reading about the lore, and so like as I read about it, I'm like, oh, this is like this guy in D. I get it. Oh, okay.
That's cool.
But it's fun. It's fun learning about this stuff. But yeah, dwarf scenes are some of my favorites. What was some of my other favorites? Even though I don't like that the elf was just let go, I do like what he does later, and I also like Adar a lot. He's pretty cool. I want to see what he does moving forward.
Yeah, it's interesting what's developing, and this guy was this was an interesting little thing. I know we saw. Oh, hold on, where is he? Where's this guy? This guy was interesting, and I know we knew he was like in the trailer, but I didn't recognize that it was the same butcher guy as
Right.
earlier. So he's already a person influenced by Sauron. He's been living among these people, so he's been like doing his like wickedness.
And he's a little
behind the
greedy
scenes.
too.
He's a little greedy. He feeds the people. Some people had gotten sick. Remember, like they were talking
Yeah,
about
the
that,
cow.
like the cow as well. Yeah, like so. Yeah, this guy's an interesting character.
Oh, the
And
scene just
what's-
grossed me out all over again.
What? Yeah,
The
what?
cow
Yeah,
when
the
he
milk.
milks it with the black.
Yeah, with the black milk. And what's interesting also is that he recognizes that Theo is touched by the evil of Sauron,
Right.
which is interesting. Like he now has Theo. It's like Theo now has some kind of
Oh man, when he uses the sword, I don't know what it is. That sword, the way whatever they do, the effect they use on the sword when it grows with the smoke and
the
it's-
blood magic. Like yeah, it's
that
like
looks so damn cool.
it does look really cool. But yeah, so this is interesting. By the way, Trek on the Tube is right. We never see Theo's ears, but I don't think he would be accepted. I think at some point you'd have seen these villagers would have seen his ears. So I don't know if I don't know. We were just talking about how like at some point the villagers would have definitely seen Theo's ears. So I don't know if he's an elf because they would have known about it or whatever. But yeah, we were talking about Sean how like this guy has actually been among these people and has been like a servant of Sauron's for a while now. So it's
I would assume he's not the only one though, because these people
right,
once served Morgoth.
Morgoth.
So
But he also recognizes in Theo something like he's able to recognize the touch or like what that he's
Right.
touched or whatever, so that's really interesting. Also, if you notice Theo's clothing, he has similar symbols to what we see in the opening credits, you know, when the symbols are changing. So if you if yeah, you can't see it in the screenshot. Let me see if I can find a closer image of Theo's tunic here. But the other thing that's cool is that have you guys looked at the bonus material that's at the end of every? Have you guys like played around with the Amazon you know, like the X-ray
no,
feature or
I just
whatever?
watch it.
Oh, okay. The
No, I haven't
bonus
messed with it.
I gotta show you some of the bonus content. They have concept art, so I think
Ooh.
it's okay for me to share
That's
this. Hold
nice.
on. Let me
So
put
I
this
was
up on screen.
before I disappeared. What was I saying?
You
You
were
were gonna
talking
say
about
talk about the dwarves,
Durin
yeah.
and the dwarves, yeah.
Oh yeah, well, there's nothing much more to add. I just really like the aesthetic of like the dwarves that they're going for. I like seeing dwarves, um, and I find it interesting that like this whole new ore kind of thing, and yeah, and I like the discussion with his father.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, I'm looking at some of that concept art.
Yeah, here
And
I'm popping it on screen.
shout out to Kid Sauron there for like being brave enough to get out of that well.
Oh, that was a good scene too. A lot of good tension there, like
I was
with the
Yeah.
like,
well.
How did he get out? Did they actually show him get out?
He probably climbed.
Right, but I think he just kind of he's out a scene or
Yeah.
two later. Yeah.
Numenor is just so beautiful to me. And there's the Palantir. Um and then here's the mine. This concept art's really cool. I like this. So
No, it's
yeah,
beautiful
so
stuff, man.
all right, so that's I think we're about to wrap up on our episode 4 discussion, and Sean's frozen again. Poor Sean. He's frozen in a very intense. He's a very intense. Oh, you had a very intense face. I was gonna put you on full screen. So Sean's favorite episode. My second favorite episode so far. Ruben, least favorite episode, but we're all still enjoying the show.
Oh yeah,
Corks Bar, if you're still there, and also not Ryan Johnson, let us know how you're liking this episode and any final thoughts. Yeah, I'm completely hooked. I think that it's very exciting. I think next episode is going to be even more exciting. I saw a little trailer, and it looks like there's some fighting that's going to occur and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. I'm very excited to see. Oh, we didn't talk about the tower. How quickly the dwarves are building that
Oh
tower.
yeah, no,
It's
I
like
actually love too that tower because it's a very subtle way of showing passage of time.
yes,
yeah,
but man, they did that in like 5 days or something. Like how much time has passed? Because
A
Galadriel's only been
lot.
in Numenor for 3 days. I guess they started maybe it's
Yeah, but
not.
if you think about it, she went on that ship with the elves, and then she
Oh,
jumped off
true.
it. Then she swam. Then she survived with these people. Then
So
she
it's like a
was
couple
on
of
the ship with the
weeks.
guy going back to Numenor.
Oh yeah,
You know, and travel's pretty slow back then,
yeah, it's true.
even in magicy
back then.
magicy versions of back then.
Corksbar says this was the best episode yet. Love these discussions. Excited for next week. Yeah, I love this like 10 o'clock in the morning second breakfast thing. It's actually fun. It's been really wild and fun. What do you guys got going on in your worlds that you want to promote to folks tuning? By the way, we had like a very nice view count on the previous video, and some folks are telling me that they really love the classy artwork. So I'm gonna keep doing the classy artwork, and hopefully Sean won't freeze next time. But Ruben, why don't you start us off by telling us what's going on in your world that you got to promote?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at rmartian, where I post interviews with film and TV professionals. and I'll have more interviews coming soon. I'm waiting for some approvals, and then that's all I can actually talk about legally
Oh,
on air.
very interesting. And Sean, what's going on over on Trek on the Tube? Oh wow, he's frozen. What's going on Trek on the Tube?
Say really
Quick, while we
The
got
Orville,
you.
the Orville review coming soon.
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't finished season. What are we on? What is this season?
3.
Season 3. Yeah, I haven't finished it. I gotta go finish it. I
I don't know
also
what's going on with my internet. It's like
it's dodgy.
on and off, on and off.
I also stopped watching Game of Thrones temporarily because I'm addicted to 12 Monkeys. I don't know if you guys are watching that.
What do
Sean,
you
we
mean,
gotta talk.
Hot D.
Hot D. I put it on pause to watch 12 Monkeys.
I am
So-
also not caught up with Game of Thrones. I watched the premiere and then I was like, there are other things going on.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings takes precedence for these
Sorry.
two second breakfasters here.
I promised myself I would not mention that show during during today's
Oh,
show.
we mentioned it. Great.
So I'm glad I didn't bring it up.
So go check out Trek on the Tube for the Orville, or is that on ABTG? That goes on Trek on the Tube, right?
It'll
The
be Trek on
Orville.
the Tube.
Okay.
Yeah, the Orville review
You're
coming
infecting
soon.
your Star Trek channel with.
Hey, it's Star Trek
Orville.
adjacent. It's Star Trek
It is.
inspired,
It's
you know?
that's fine. Yeah, it's fine. And then what's going on at ABTG?
Nothing.
Oh, maybe that's where we'll do 12
Absolute
Monkeys.
bullshit.
We
Maybe
could do
that's
12
where-
Mon- we could do season reviews or season
For
discussions.
12,
for
yes,
Monkeys.
I want to do
And
season.
random other
yes.
shows, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and random other shows. I
I
like
think
the
maybe,
idea.
maybe we can do like a.
You should probably suggest each other shows to watch and then cover those shows.
I suggest 12 Monkeys, which Sean is watching, so that's fine.
I started watching before you.
I know, but
I
I'm
take
watching
precedence
it
on
like
suggesting here.
Oh,
I'm
what I've
watching
been-
it right after this stream.
What I've been
I
doing
can't
too
do
is
anything.
going back to shows I liked, like in the '90s. Like I tried watching Highlander recently, the show.
You know what I bookmarked is the Love Boat. I can't wait to start watching that, and we might do
Love Boat.
we might do Love Boat, the real Love
No.
Boat
No,
reality
People
series
are banging
with-
away on a boat.
with Rebecca Romijn. and
Garbage.
Jer- Well, okay, so that's what's up in the future for
I
Sharply
love the
Boy.
hosts. They're both great. I'm very grateful
Yes,
to have them
they're
in
really
Star
cool.
Trek. What a shit show.
Well, if there's nothing else, I bid you
no, I'm
clear.
sure. I'm sure it has its own audience, and I'm sure it'll
Yeah.
it'll find its fans. But it's just
It
not my
will.
style.
Me, it'll find me.
It'll find you.
So I bid you a good journey on your way back to Middle Earth,
going on
Meanderings
an
and
adventure.
Sean. Namarie to the audience. We'll see you next week, and thank you for joining me, gentlemen.
I apologize for the momentarily lagging moments, but it's fine. All
So
the
I
best.
brought some.
Oh, we don't do this. No, there's
what do we
no.
do?
that-
What do we
I don't
do?
know.
No,
we,
wait,
gotta-
wait, because Romulans were space elves, so we'll do Joel on True.
we could do the Joel True. Maybe. we don't do this.
The elves need a hand thing.
They need
I
to
guess we
figure
could do
out-
one of these, right? Like a pledge. Like I don't know. We'll have to
pledge
come
you
up
what?
with something.
Come
Or
back,
no,
come
that's
back.
probably not
No,
good. That's probably not good.
that's
probably
not a good one. That's not a good one at all. All right, I almost said it. Goodbye.